Hey kids, Jacktastic 3D here, bringing you a game of Domination on the map Slums. I'm bringing this one to you. I go 53 and 21 with 2 caps and 17 defends. And normally I might say, hey, I'm bringing that because it's a decent game. My KD isn't amazing in the game. But what I am bringing this game for is for the fact of, or what I think is the fact of, the lack of more competitive style games and domination games on YouTube. You have a ton of people who post just pub stomping or ground war games against just complete scrubs, or full parties just stomping teams. And this game was a little bit different. This game, we had 4 of my friends and 2 randoms. The other team, when we checked the lobby leaderboards before we jumped in, had a couple guys who had pretty high score per minutes, and we knew they were going to try because we'd also, if I remember right, we had played them before and they had beat us. So we knew going into this we was going to have to try a little harder, and that I'm not always a fan of, because mostly I'm playing around this time now. I'm mostly playing this game to like do things like, I don't know, get weapons, diamond. I don't want to sit late at night and have to worry about playing a team who I'm going to have to sit and die a shitload to and have to do all this stuff. Not to mention, I didn't necessarily have a class setup that I was super comfortable with. But I did have one setup that was sort of pseudo tryhard. That was this Silence MP7 with Quick Draw. And then I was running Ghost, Toughness, Engineer, and Dexterity. Now, I, in retrospect, would probably change that setup and would run probably Blast Shield, and I'd probably leave Toughness on, leave Engineer, and probably leave Dexterity. But actually, I would switch out Engineer for Attack Mask, because you'll see later, right? You get stunned and you end up in an awkward place, and you're gonna end up getting shot in your ass. And then I was running EMP and Simtex. Now, a lot of other setups for tryhard classes would be attack insert and a C4, maybe use fast hands. So it's an awesome setup. I have that actually on classes that I have now. The thing is I always still think when you're playing against a team who it's clear we had learned before that we're going to attack insert, that at least one person runs EMP. And in this case I decided just to, and you'll see like right there, tons of times I'm just destroying these tack inserts. I might get one and maybe there's another couple left, but at least I'm slowing them down. I don't think the entire team needs to have that. Matter of fact, I'd prefer, if we were really trying, one guy had a trophy and smoke, and another 2 guys had tack inserts. But yeah, for this class is what I had. Now the other thing is I have Simtex. Now I could have had C4s, but on maps like this, specifically this one, where I know B is going to be a challenge to get to, I tend to run Simtex because I can launch it from a lot further away, and especially this one where I could chuck it over the wall without having to run that much closer with the C4. And you'll see there's tons of times I'm getting kills on just the Simtex alone. But yeah, had I run C4, I don't know. Maybe it would have worked, maybe it wouldn't have. Who knows? But the other thing is, too, the trade-off in this game, when I realized I didn't have my vest on, was I have Ghost. So one of the goals I got to a certain point, which is, especially playing on Slums, is I wanted to push them back. And one of the ways you can push them back is attempting to triple cap or attempting to be in their spawn longer than you want to. And Ghost sort of buys you that. Ghost and Silencer really buys you that. And you'll see a couple times. I mean, I'll die in their spawn, but I get to their spawn. And that's kind of crucial that you have people doing that. And I've played, like even right now, the game's really close at 84-79. We realize how hard this team's still going to try. I don't stop at A at all, and that's another thing you should keep in mind when you're playing guys like this and you're trying to do it. Have one person cap and you need to be pushing forward. And I don't even go right to the flag in this case. I'm just trying to stop an initial wave of people trying to cap the flag, so like there, my teammates can cap the flag. Now this right here is kind of fun. That was my biggest mistake. One of my biggest mistakes this game. I let that guy live. thinking, well, another teammate's going to kill him. I don't have to worry about him. But for some reason, he stayed hidden back there and shoots me in my ass. Now, I get him right here. But still, it's the whole thing. Do you chase? Do you not chase? I don't know. Maybe in that case, I should have. Who knows? But you'll see, like, it's just a constant barrage. Now, sure, the tack insert would have kept me closer and probably been more interesting for you guys to watch. But the fact I have EMPs and Simtex, I can throw them from a much further distance than any of those guys on the other team who were trying to launch C4s. Plus, this other team was kind of gay in the fact they were running riot shields. Somewhat effectively, actually. The other thing that actually I kind of, and you'll see at the end of this game, I kind of felt bad for the team, and this is something to keep in mind when you're running with a smaller squad, 3 to 4 guys, even down to 2 guys. And another reason to look at the lobby leaderboards prior to coming into the game is when the game starts, you can decide real fast if you're going to stay or not based on the other 2 people on your team. And in our case, we ended up having the upper hand. The 2 greenies that we got on our team tended to be pretty good. They did their job. They got enough kills. They got some defense. They got some caps. You really can't ask more than that. You know, when we're talking to them, we were partied up. The other team, however, got sort of shafted. I think they had 3 or 4 guys who just sucked complete balls. I think one guy goes 11 and 41. And when you're playing against people who are actually trying, that is the last thing you want to see on your team at the end of the game. You're like, why the hell do we lose? Oh, because he went 11 and 41. Now, it's funny, if you watch this gameplay through my eyes, it just seems like they're constant the entire game. Like, I literally, until the very end of the game, was like, I don't see anybody who's horrible. Everybody seemed to be halfway decent. They were doing what they needed to do. But then you get to the end, and obviously some of these guys were just getting absolutely just wrecked. But, you know, hats off to them. But I wanted to get this game out here so you guys could see a little bit more what it looks like for people to go into a lobby and actually try, which is part of this, what I'm doing right here. You might look and be like, well, you're camping. I'm watching the mini-map, and I can see people in the blue room to the right, people coming around the corner constantly. And a team like this, when you're going for the win, at some point, somebody needs to stay on a flag. The whole team can't keep transitioning to A, B, C. And I'm sure you guys who have played enough Domination know that when you do that, you end up getting back capped. Sometimes you get double capped, and sometimes it works out. You end up getting triple capped, going, what the hell just happened? And it's because an entire team rotates to a flag instead of something like what I was just doing, which is, here's the deal. The game's still really close. It's 154, 142. It was even closer before that. I'm going to go ahead and chill on B a little bit in this corner because they're so at the point of wanting to win that they're just rushing out. They're not really taking into consideration where maybe people are at on the map. Till right there, I've killed enough of them, they throw a C4 around the corner. But I got enough kills in the meantime to hold B to keep them off, which is all my goal was in that case. So something to keep in mind, if you're the odd guy out or maybe you feel like you're not contributing, that might be the good time in a map like this to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and hold this point for a bit and not be one of the guys who's consistently pushing up. And that's key to know when that time is. You know, you don't necessarily need to do that right off the bat, but at some point, somebody needs to make that call. Because I've been in way too many games that we've actually lost where it's just everybody gets super greedy and goes from there. The score streaks I'm running are UAV, Hunter Killer, and Lightning Strike. Usually I would run UAV, Counter UAV, Lightning Strike, or Hunter Killer, but I just happen to have those in the case, and they actually worked out pretty well this time. You can see here, 53, 21, 2 captures, 17 defends. The rest of my team, Mama, Korean, Chef, who are all my friends, all did really good. Our greenies, 35, 30, 28, 29. But you'll see on the other team, 11, 41, 18, 37. It just didn't hold up.
That's a